What's up, Knife Tube? It's Diamond Cut Steel, and you guys are going to learn something today. So, what we're going to do, I'm sure you see this. We're going to go ahead and sharpen this CJRB SF2. Factory edge, it performed okay. Noticeably better than RPM 9. However, as if you've seen the cut test on the factory edge, it performed very poorly. However, it's dropped right back, and it's done decent. So we're going to go ahead and sharpen it and get it ready for a formal cut test to actually see how much better it performs than RPM 9. So what we got here, we got an Atoma 140 because we need to, these are probably at around 20, 21 per side. And of course we need to knock it down to 17 for the cut test. Now I really don't know where this stuff is going to like to be. Now I can say this, on the factory edge, it's kind of polished to some extent, just overstropped. And yeah, so it in the rope test it performs very poorly. So I'm looking at the composition of this steel. I believe this is going to be a steel that performs better in your mid grit area. I don't think it's a steel that's going to do overly great with a very low grit edge or a very high grit edge. I believe that 600 to 1,000 range is going to be ideal for this steel, just based on composition. So we have an Atoma 130. So we can hog off some steel real quick. A little bit of Windex. Everything in focus. Yeah, it is. And so we're going to knock it down to about 17 degrees per side, and it'll be ready for a cut test when my spool rope comes in. I do believe that the extra 20 bucks or so that the SF2 knives cost, just off of how the factory edge performed, I'm going to say that it's probably worth it. The steel is better, but let's see how it sharpens. All right. So let's set this bad boy at about 17 DPS. Be about right there. $140 Atoma should make quick work of this thing. I really wish these companies would stop over polishing these edges. I get it. They try to make a nice shiny edge, out the package, but man, how they do it is by over polishing it. And they do it, say they finish it on a 320, and then they take it over to a felt wheel or a belt and with polish compound on it, and then they just overstrop the hell out of it. That's why they're slick as cat shit. And they perform terrible, but they want, they put them stupid ass polished edges, fake polished edges on it. So as you can see, Atoma 140 made quick work of that. It's a very good job, if I do say so myself. Now we have a nice burr. You can actually see it. See it? So we have a nice burr the full length of the edge. I'll tell y'all, these stones, because you know they're going up, go pick you up a 140 before they get out of hand expensive. This really is an amazing stone. Y'all in frame? Yeah. That's impressive how quickly that just rips that steel off of there. I'm just going to cut the burr off because I want to remove a decent bit of steel. Okay. A little bit more steel to remove. We've got a little bit more to remove. Okay, we're almost apexed. There we go. Okay, that should have a burr. Yippers. Nice symmetrical job. Here's where we're at. Nice symmetrical edge. Okay. Just want to make sure I did get it all the way back to the heel. Yeah, I did. Okay. All right. So where do we want to finish this at? I'm thinking, what is this? This is the 220. I think we're just going to finish it on a 600 actually. DMT 600 sounds good because I already got it out. Yeah, that's what we'll do. course, I got a fresh 400 Atoma on the back side of it. But we got a DMT 600. Okay. So far, I mean, it feels decent on the stones. I will say this, it doesn't feel very hard. Yeah, it doesn't feel very hard. Actually, you know what? I don't believe I fully apex right here. The very back, it was misground a little bit. You know, I have to clean that up. Yeah, I missed a little bit. No problem. In that case, then we may go ahead and hit it on the 400 because I may have to remove a little bit of extra steel. It's a brand spanking new 400, so it's going to be mad aggressive. No problemo. Okay. Again, we're just going to cut that burr off. Not worried about flipping it right now. I'm actually going to remove a decent bit of steel here. God, I love a fresh Atoma plate. Okay. You were definitely apex on that side all the way to the heel. It's this side where we missed a little bit. It's just right there at that little edge termination. I really do love these stones. They're so good. That's probably enough. Absolutely. And that's why I love them plates so much. Okay. So, looking good. All that factory polish has been removed. Well, I mean, when I say that, I'm talking about right here where I can see a little bit of that glint. Yeah, we're in good shape. All right, so let's get to work. But yeah, the steel don't feel it's not ran very hard. Looking good. Now we're going to go ahead and flip that burr back. good. Okay. Let's get that scratch pattern consistent. Okay. Looking good. So let's start breaking this burr down. See how it deburrs. Got a nice flat V-bevel in here. This is going to be a really nice cutting edge. But I will say this, I don't see any burr snapping off. Really nice looking edge, I'll tell you that. But yeah, don't see no little burr fragments breaking off. And I definitely feel there's still a full burr on this knife. So let's start making alternating passes to refine this burr down, since it's not wanting to come off on its own. That's probably got to do with the steel not being ran very hard. Just getting lighter and lighter passes. Okay. That should be pretty good. See where we're at. Let's take a dry strop, no compound, make a few passes, slightly above sharpening angle. It's doing decent, but it's definitely holding on to some of that burr. Okay. See where we're at. We should be very, very sharp. Nice and toothy. Okay. It's very toothy. There's still burr. There's still burr. So let's just make a couple passes on some 3 micron. I'm going to go at exactly sharpening angle, of course. Fresh leather on my strops. It's very nice. Okay. Now let's just make a pass on some 1/4 micron. Hopefully that got rid of that bruh. If not, we'll bring out the big guns and pull it off with some 15 micron. That feels pretty good there. Yeah. Yeah, no snags now. Beautiful. Still got good aggression. Okay. So overall, it sharpens pretty decent. It's definitely not a steel that's ran super hard. Clean the blade off. It's not a steel that's ran super hard. To be honest, and I'm going to be completely honest, this doesn't feel, on the stones, doesn't feel much different than RPM 9. Yeah, doesn't feel much different than RPM 9. And it does not want to let that burr go very easily. It is hair popping. Yeah, we'll have to see in the, where it scores on the 1/2 inch rope. But as of right now, I'm going to say there's not much difference. The wear resistance of the composition is higher, like they say. Yeah, scratch that blade. No. But it is what it is. I wouldn't expect too much out of it. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll get the test done on it, and then we'll know how it compares against RPM 9. I would say it probably does feel a little bit more wear resistant than RPM 9, but not much. And it when a steel wants to hold on to the burr like that, that's never a good sign. Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially considering it's not on like its 3rd or 4th edge, but it's never a good thing when the steel wants to hold on to the burr like that. And it really is holding on to the burr. In fact, I do believe there is still a little bit of burr on here. Because I'm catching, in the camera at certain angles, looks like I'm catching a line. See it right there, but with my naked eye, I can't see it. Let's get the magnifying glass out there. Because it could just be a wire edge. That could just be a wire edge, and that's why it's cutting paper so good. Got nice texture from that 600 plate. Yeah, see, there's still burr on here. So I'm glad to know my eyes aren't playing tricks on me. Yeah, see, there's some little pieces of burr. There's some burr. Yeah, that's what it is. So my eyes wasn't playing tricks on me. We have very fine wire. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring out the big guns. 15. Well, you can really hear that stuff cut. We go exactly at sharpening angle, of course. That's exactly what it is. It's just, it don't want to let go of that burr. That's annoying. Whoops, I cut my shirt my daughter bought me. Whoops. Yeah, see that? It feels clean. feels clean, but it does still feel like there's little remnants of burr on there. Okay. Hmm. That's this piece of paper. Yeah, there's little remnants of burr. Ay. Just like RPM 9, still sometimes does, but used to really have a problem with it, where it did not want to deburr. That's exactly where the steel's at right now. Now that feels cleaner. Yeah, now that feels much better. Yeah, that feels better. Yeah, that feels better. Okay. So I'm not catching any. Come on, camera, focus. Okay, yeah, that's looking. I'm not seeing a little piece of what looks like a wire. And it does feel pretty crisp now when cutting. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Absolutely blazing hair right now. Come on, camera, focus. Yeah, absolutely blazing hair. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Do I think it's going to be another RPM 9 situation? like back when RPM 9 really had some problems. That's what I'm thinking it is. I think it's gonna, just like it scored pretty poorly under the factory edge, I believe it's gonna perform pretty poorly under the sharpened edge too. Now, when cutting cardboard, see, that's where it's, when I'm saying, yeah, I believe it performed better than RPM 9, that was on cardboard, you know, on the factory edge. We're not really stressing that edge. You know, that rope is actually stressing that edge. So I believe we're going to see relatively poor performance on the rope. That's my guess. And if it does, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and take it. We'll put like a maybe like an Atoma 400 edge on it and see how it does, you know, with an Atoma, with a more aggressive edge. Because right now the 600 is actually going to be finer than I intended, because I didn't expect to have to strop it that much. So while, yeah, this is a 600 finish, that is sharp. And good bite too. But while it's a 600 finish, with all those stropping passes I made, it's going to be quite a bit finer than that. You know, the microstructure of the teeth is going to be smaller due to the refining with the strop. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll cut test it probably tonight or tomorrow, and we'll see. All I can tell you is on cardboard, I believe it's going to perform. Oh, I know it will. On cardboard, it will definitely outperform RPM 9. However, when that edge is being stressed, I don't believe it's going to do too well. All right, guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Y'all have a great day. And like, share, and subscribe if you've hung out this long with me. I do want to grow this channel. I want to spread awareness around the community on quality steels, sharpening, stones, etc., etc. I don't want to just be another commercial account. So I would really appreciate a like, a comment, a subscription, and a share if you would. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good day.